Hey, yo, guys, what's up? So, I figured I would do something a little bit different, maybe give you like a little behind the scenes look at how I make sketches and things like that, like live action scripted stuff, because I think going forward, this is probably something that I'm going to probably try to do a little bit more of. I know I kind of started out that way and it got away from doing it just because of how time consuming that kind of thing is. So, I figured I would show, maybe at least share, make a short little video explaining how I do it. And the last video that I just put out, the end of the bad guy, just like something that's only 7, 8 minutes long, how much time it actually takes to do something like that. Especially even on like a low budget, low quality kind of thing like I do. I mean, so I can only imagine what it takes for some of these higher production type of videos. So I'm in my basement right now, and this is kind of like my creation center over here. I mean, this is the computer and the setup and everything I got going on when I do all the live streams, the camera, the mic, the sound mixer, the monitor. I'm able to do any sort of screen capture to capture any sort of footage that I want by bringing it onto the laptop, using a capture card and onto the main monitor. But so when I do these little sketches, the first thing you obviously have to do is come up with an idea. And whenever I have that idea, if I'm home, it's not so bad because I could sit here and just write it down. I mean, and this is the 7 minute video of the bad guy video I just did. I mean, this is the script that I had to write and get it all down as the ideas were there. Sometimes when they don't, when I'm not at home, I mean, I will jot things down immediately if I have an idea and kind of just run with it. And when gets time to actually write that down, there's a lot that goes into that as well because I try to be as thorough as I can. And, right here, this is the start of the script. It's just I try to write down everything, like what I'm doing, even if I'm not speaking, like the emotions that I'm supposed to be displaying, like even if I'm not speaking or if I am speaking. Just for example, the very beginning of the video, sitting working on the computer. So I'll put everything down. I'll try to be as detailed as I can, so I know exactly what I need to do. I need to be doing at that time. So I'm just sitting there silently working on the computer, and then the bad guy comes in off screen, that is, and you hear the voice, "Hey yo." So I'm trying to set up the whole environment so I know that everything what I'm doing on each line, like what's supposed to be going on. Is it going to be happening in the background? Is it going to be happening on camera? That kind of thing. And then the emotion part of it, like right here, turns around startled. So I'm not even really saying anything, but it shows me what I'm supposed to be doing. That being said, when I'm writing this, and I go back and forth to who's speaking and who's doing what and how they're supposed to be saying it and things of that nature. Once I get it all put down and I feel, okay, that's fine, you know, there's multiple editing processes that has to happen because really when I'm writing these lines down, 9 times out of 10, that's not how it's going to turn out when it's all said and done. That's kind of like a general idea that gets thrown out there. Sometimes the first draft of certain things stay, but most of the time it does not. And I'm sitting here, I read through this thing probably 10 times over. And every single time something gets changed because when you're spitting ideas out and you're just kind of like taking ideas from your head that are forming right in that moment and you're trying to write them down as fast as you can so you don't lose that idea, you realize once you start reading it, you have like repetitive words or words that are kind of mixed up. I mean, there's a lot of like just grammatical editing that needs to take place. So then whenever that happens, then you start reading more down through it. You start looking at lines of like, okay, well, I'm saying this, but I could get the message across better if I say it this way, or if I add these words, or you know what I mean. There's a lot that goes into it, and before the final script is done, I'm probably reading, like I said, through this probably almost 10 times, and I want to make sure that I read through it probably at least twice without making any changes before I'm happy with it and ready to call it a final product. And then when the time comes to actually do it on camera, I've noticed that myself, I ad lib a lot. Even I know what I'm supposed to say, and when I say it, sometimes I don't like it. I don't like how it comes out. For example, whenever I was doing this, I probably read the same line four different times, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna pick the best one. Unless it comes out great right away, I'll say it again. I'll say it differently. I'll say it in a different tone. I'll say it with different emotion, different facial expressions, or different hand gestures, or whatever. Kind of pick the best one. And a lot of times, like I said, I ad lib or I add words because when I'm saying it, sometimes it just naturally comes out differently. I'm like, okay, well, this is how I should be saying it. So I alter it a little bit, like a spur on the moment kind of thing. I'm like, okay, this is because how I have it wrote down sounds good, but then as you're saying it out loud, it seems kind of monotone or like robotic or unnatural. So if I start saying it in a more natural way, sometimes just I start adding to it, or sometimes I just skip things altogether. So that's kind of the whole process of doing that. So you're spending hours just writing the thing to begin with, and then a couple more hours editing it, and then more hours actually performing it, a couple more hours splicing all the clips together, adding music, adding effects or anything I want to add to it. I'm pretty much a one-man show here. I have multiple tripods that adjust different sizes, and you would think it's just as easy as, oh, okay, we're just going to set up the tripod and go, but it's not always that easy because you have to make sure it's at the right angle, it's at the right height, and especially if you're moving, that's when it's really challenging and consuming because you have to have it set up in different positions, different ways to make it seem like you're actually moving and that there's multiple cameras when you're really only working with one. That's when you really have to get a little bit creative to make it seem smooth and not just totally cheap. I mean, obviously, like I said, I'm not working with any high tech equipment here. It's just normal, everyday stuff. But to not give it a complete, like, total 100% amateur feel, like, okay, I could at least reposition the camera around a little bit. Like, even just something as stupid as walking. You got to set the camera up like 2 or 3 different times. So, because you don't want to just walk towards the camera, walk past it, and then you're gone. No, you got to have it turned around, and then it faces you walking further away, and then just stupid things like that. Is just how much goes into something like this. So, just for this video, for example, the end of the bad guy video that I think was around 7 to 8 minutes, probably took, I'd probably say, at least 10 to 12 hours total to put together. And a lot of that is me because I am a perfectionist in a way that I can't, if it's not exactly how I like it, I will do it again. I can't put something out there that I feel like it's stupid, or if it didn't turn out the way I wanted, I'll just delete it completely, But that's kind of how I go about doing these kind of things. And like I said, I think I'm going to try to get into more of it. That was kind of the point of the whole bad guy video thing, that announcing his big comeback, because I really got away from doing that kind of stuff, and I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed doing something like this, just where I just ramble off and kind of explain what goes into it. Because if you're wondering, how come you don't dress up like Batman and do that kind of stuff anymore, well, I mean, I would love to, but there's just a lot that goes into it. So, but from this point going forward, yes, I'm absolutely going to be doing more of that stuff. I have plenty of files on here that I had wrote from months ago that I had just never got around to. I have pages down here, down in my desk. You can see the paper underneath the CD and all that stuff. That's like a 4-page handwritten script of another video that I plan on doing eventually. And some of the videos I get into, you got to have props. You can't just. I don't have everything. Like, I didn't have a Batman costume before that. It wasn't until I decided I wanted to do a Batman video, and then I started buying up some cheap Batman stuff to put on. And hopefully throughout time, I'll progress a little bit more. My equipment will get better. My production will get better. I'll start adding more props and things like that. So, but I just figured I would throw this little quick video out here real quick, just to share what it takes to do something like that. And those of you that do it, you understand what it's like. It's not as simple as just clicking record and just going. There is a lot that goes into it. And but I really enjoy that kind of stuff. Like, I have no experience None in acting or producing or writing or directing. I've never done any of that at all. I've never been in a stage play or a musical or anything. I've never taken part in any of that stuff. But I always kind of thought that I would enjoy doing something like that. And it's fun to me, especially when it gets all done and you put it together and you can sit there and laugh at yourself about for doing something stupid, and that it actually turned out pretty well. So yeah, that's it, guys. I just wanted to share that. I figured I was just sitting around on Saturday. It's snowing out there. I have nothing crazy going on. I'm not going to clear the snow yet until it ends, and I figured I would just put this little thing together, throw it out there for anybody that was interested. So everybody who's watching this kind of stuff, I really appreciate it, and just know that there will be more of this kind of content going forward because I like doing it. And whether it gets any views or not, I don't care. I'm still going to do it. And again, that was kind of the point of the whole bad guy, the end of the bad guy thing. Because I just wanted to let everybody know that I'm still going to be doing that kind of stuff. So, everybody, I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.